Year one of his second term, and President Trump has signed 225 executive orders, more than his entire first term. He's deployed the National Guard into Democratic-led cities over the objections of local leaders, used the Justice Department to go after political opponents, pardoned or commuted more than 1,500 people, many of them his political allies, some of them violent, torn down the East Wing to build a ballroom, added his name to the Kennedy Center, in front of Kennedy, in fact. He's done a lot. He's accepted a $400 million plane from Qatar and is now threatening to take Greenland. How much of this change doesn't get changed back? How many of the norms that he has broken can be repaired? Joining us, presidential historian and professor of history at Rice University, Douglas Brinkley. So we've been operating, Doug, on a set of norms. And we've realized that they were norms when it was President Trump's first term. And I guess how much of when a president comes in and how much of when he moves the goalpost, how does it ever come back?
Well, the first thing he did, a year ago was executive order mania. I mean, never before in American history had a president not given the country a grace period of a day or two. He came in roaring. And the first executive order he did was pardoning of January 6th insurrectionists. What an opening salvo for your second term. Then he would sign them willy-nilly, and he continues to, because some will get through and become part of the law of the land till the next time a Democrat's in, they'll undo it, because it's always better to have legislation than an executive order. And others are being tripped up in courts. And so his EO strategy has really had very few positive and big effects. I think no president's going to be as shameless as Donald Trump of taking something like the Kennedy Center and trying to put his name on it and build, arcs of triumph for himself and try to put himself into the Smithsonian and everywhere we look that we're supposed to be honoring him in a sort of authoritarian fashion. But what he has accomplished, and it's going to be hard to beat, is how ubiquitous he's been. Try following Trump's act, the next president. I mean, there may be a timeout or a leave. People don't want a lot, but there's no way anybody could try to play the media environment the way Donald Trump does, hour by hour, whether he's telling you facts or lies, disinformation. It doesn't matter. He's a volcano just exploding to grab the world's attention.
Yeah, that's true. But I wonder if there is a next president, and are we just going to be relying on that person being a good and decent person? Or is the line now does the line now allow a president to profit off the presidency going forward if they're shameless enough? Or does it, is it a little fuzzier? You can accept a gift from a country you like because you like the gift. Or I'm going to use the DOJ to go after people I don't like. The line's going to be fuzzier than it once was. How much of that gets rolled back to what it was like before 2016?
It's going to be hard to roll a lot back because of the U.S. Supreme Court makeup, for starters. I mean, we have the three justices from Trump's first term. This is the heyday of the, Heritage Foundation's Project 2025, and now rolled into 2026. Our country has gone from center right to right, and we're trying to ward it off from becoming a alternative right nightmare. But this idea of pitting states and people against each other the way Donald Trump is, I'm hoping the next president will never do such a thing. I mean, the way today that he demonized Minnesotans, the way he's trashing all people from Somalia that live in the United States, the dehumanizing voice of Donald Trump cannot be replicated. And the damages in 1 year, in my mind, is great. I'm not seeing where Team America has put a lot of winning points on the board. There have been some successes on U.S.-Mexico on the border. His, getting rid of people that don't have proper work papers here has been positive. But the visual of ICE is like they're covering their face. It's like the ugliest visual you can imagine. They don't seem oftentimes professional, and then doing away with, DEI at universities and acting like, talking negatively about minorities day after day, mocking women. He's trying to set back the clock to some 19th century time. I can't imagine the next president of the 21st century is going to be modeling this act like he's just done today at the press conference with Greenland, where he's ostensibly trying to blow NATO apart.